What do we have at the foundation of the reading, please? Five of Pentacles, Taurus energy at the foundation of the reading. Recently, I've been having these downloads coming through, and it was all connected to a group of souls that were sent down here to help shift the collective consciousness. Now, this is something that Dolores Cannon speaks about, if you guys are familiar with her. So it's most certainly not a new subject matter that I'm bringing up here, but it's really been in the energy lately. And what I have also been receiving weird synchronicities and downloads about was individuals that were sent here to help shift the collective consciousness were put into a kind of maze. It's like you were incarnated into this life cycle to help raise the vibration of the planet, right? To keep a sense of balance. And this is most certainly what Dolores Cannon talks about when she speaks about this group of individuals. And depending on how far you dig into this particular subject matter, it's something that seemingly happened after the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? Because of the tremendous loss of life. And there was something about this, and I've read this in many different places, not just Dolores Cannon, but there was something about this event that shifted the Earth's vibration. That makes perfect sense, right? But then you fast forward to current day, where we are all at. And I genuinely believe that a lot of people that find these readings, whether they're mine or other tarot readers in the community, are a part of this group of people. Now, it really depends on how old you are, but there is a group of people that I know I'm speaking directly to. And a lot of you are starting to really become aware of this. You may not be able to articulate it the way that I'm speaking it to you all now, but you just have this kind of deep knowing that you're here to do something, that you're here for something much greater. And I remember when I was a kid and I felt that way. I know that I'm here to do something special, right? I'm going to be something one day. And you could argue that everybody has that, but I don't think they do, okay? Because where I'm personally at in my life, I feel very connected to that childlike version of myself. In fact, I find myself thinking back to those times more than any other time in my life, because I think that there's a lot of answers there. And the reason why I'm telling you all this is because I feel that a lot of you are doing the exact same. It's like you're reconnecting with this kind of childhood innocence, because that childhood innocence is where a lot of the answers of your life path are hiding, so to speak. And this is exactly what I'm getting with this Five of Pentacles, right? Here this person is, it's like they've been beat up by life, right? Five of Pentacles energy, which just represents an energy of lack, poverty mindset, the everyday grind of life that just has this way of beating us down year after year. And people who are on this particular path that I'm speaking about here, and you'll know who you are, okay? This reading's not going to be for everybody, but a lot of people may connect with this and find something useful for their path. But these are individuals that have had a really tough go at things, all right? Your lives have not been easy. A lot of you have been through very similar things. Now, what I mean by that is, though the events, the situations may be different, energetically speaking, it's affected you all the same. And this speaks about something much bigger. It speaks about vibration, right? So if you've been sent here on a mission to help raise the collective vibration, then one might think that that's exactly what's been targeted in you, your vibration. Now, this goes back to this subject matter I was talking about in the Pisces reading in regards to individuals being placed inside of a maze, right? It's like the matrix of life. So you forget about what your mission is. You're so consumed by the everyday grind of life that there's no time to think about what your calling is, what your purpose is. You're just trying to survive. Five of Pentacles at the foundation of the reading. What do we have at the sacral, please? Ten of Swords, Gemini energy at the sacral. So following everything I'm saying here beautifully, because we can see this kind of witchy character back here, and this is representing a lot of you. It's like they're trying to put an end to you so you can't actually step into your purpose, power, and align with your mission here, right? Five of Pentacles to Ten of Swords. This is an absolutely horrendous energy. And it has this very kind of spell-like imagery and energy around it, right? It's as if some sort of curse was placed over a lot of your lives to keep you asleep inside this kind of maze so you wouldn't remember why you came here or what you were meant to do in this life cycle. Ten of Swords is representing an energy of betrayal. It's also an energy of being backstabbed. So a lot of the time what you'll find is your stories are all similar in that a lot of these families that you've been incarnated into backstabbed you, betrayed you, did things to you to victimize you, to keep you stuck in this energy so you wouldn't remember why you came here and what you were tasked with doing. This energy that I'm looking at here is very much an extension of the devil, but it shows up in your family, it shows up in your friends, it shows up in your environment. It's like your whole reality is constructed in a very meticulous way to keep you from aligning with your North Node, with your mission, with your destiny, with your purpose, right? These are things that are all essentially the same. They all fall under the umbrella of who you are and what the purpose of your life is to begin with. But before you even incarnated into this life cycle, you sat down with the divine, with God, with your spirit team, with your families, right? Your spirit families, and you went over all of this. And you raised your hand and you said, I'll do it. I'll take the mission. Now, I 100% believe this to be true. There's many different versions and iterations of that kind of dynamic, right? But at the end of the day, they're all kind of the same, right? A lot of people say this, and it just makes perfect sense because when you start to look at our environments and the lives we've been having to live, especially present day, you could see how us being trapped inside of a kind of maze so we're not able to focus on what truly matters is actually plausible. I mean, this is all around us. You just can't deny this. And anybody who would deny this, well, I don't know. It's almost like that person's living in a kind of fantasy land, right? You know, maybe a few years ago, if I would have spoken about this, we wouldn't have been as accepting to hear a message like this, right? But now it's much easier to understand that this most certainly can be true. I mean, again, I believe it is true, okay? But whatever the case here, you volunteered for this mission. And there's a reason why you volunteered. It's because you're one of the best at it. You've done it many, many times. So it brings us to what it is that we actually need to do while we're down here, right? And this is something that's been coming up in the readings lately as well, and it's come up in the past, and it's most certainly coming up again, and it's probably because of the retrogrades. But it has to do with the families, the environments that we are incarnated into. There's something there that we are tasked with transmuting, and a lot of it has to do with the stuck kinds of energies. All of you are in an energy of wanting to evolve. You're in an energy of evolution, right? Which is essentially just saying you're in flow with the universe. But there's this opposing force that is de-evolving, or it's kind of stuck. It doesn't want to get in the flow of life. And it creates a kind of resistance. It creates a kind of, well, it's like an energetic war, right? This is very much how we can see how negative and positive polarities exist, angels and demons, God, the devil, yin and yang, right? There needs to be this kind of balance there at all times, and there's always going to be the stuck energies, there's always going to be the resistance, but we live in a time where there seems to be more resistance than there is receptiveness. I think that's the opposite of resistance, or reactance, something like this, right? Reacting to the change. So that's why we're all here. We have to bring things back into balance. There's a little bit too much yin in the collective right now, right? We need to add a little bit more yang. What a lot of you were tasked to do in this life cycle. And it brings me to another download I received. It was actually the first download in a series of messages that I got for this particular reading. And that is in regards to a lot of you being a kind of walking tower in people's lives, right? Without having the tower on the table here, the tower is Mars, Aries, Scorpio energy. So you are the bringer of change. You were sent down here to bring a tower kind of energy into people's lives to get them to transform. And this is why a lot of you have had strained relationships. You've been met with roadblock after roadblock. You feel like you're always this common denominator, that you're always cast out, that you're always blackballed, that there's something wrong with you. And this is something that I personally had to learn as well. But when I started to really get a grasp on this kind of energy here that I'm reading for all of you, which I had this really illuminated to me a few years ago, I started to understand that I myself was a kind of bringer of change in my own family dynamics too. And this is exactly what I'm getting for a lot of you. And it's important for you to hear this because there's this sense inside the collective right now of a lot of you being very unsure. You could be feeling really down, okay? You could be feeling like you just kind of want to give up on things, okay? Whether it's projects you're working on, whether it's a particular direction that you've been trying to push forward. But I need all of you to understand that this is actually in the energy right now, okay? There's waves of energy that we always deal with, and it has to do with the astrology. It has to do with retrogrades, right? And the individuals that have been chosen for this particular path are very sensitive to this. It's a blessing and it's a curse. It's something that becomes stronger and stronger the more you start to wake up to your path, your purpose, and you start to get ideas of why you may be here, right? The universe needs you to feel everything, needs you to be ultra sensitive to these energies because you are the bringer of change. And I have 7 of Wands right on the bottom of the deck, okay? So this really speaks about everything I just said in regards to this energy of feeling very discouraged right now, feeling very overwhelmed by the energies. What do we have, the solar plexus? 5 of Cups, Scorpio energy at the solar plexus in reverse. This is confirming what I just said in regards to the way a lot of you have been feeling right now, okay? But there's a message here of you all having to accept that you have been chosen for a very specific mission here, and this is why you feel this way, okay? There could be a sense of loss that you're feeling in regards to a certain way that a lot of you have been living your life, or the people that you're having to disconnect from. This energy here, this is horrendous energy, okay? But it's shown me very clearly what a lot of you have had to go through to get to where you are now. There are brighter days. I just heard that very, very clearly. But you also have to heal from the disappointment, heal from the despair that you have been subjected to in these particular cycles. See, this is what a lot of these retrogrades are doing right now. It's like we're moving backwards to tune up a few things, right? Make sure we didn't miss anything before we start moving forward, which we're going to start feeling in the coming months. I just heard that a lot of you are going to look back at this time next year, and your lives would have completely shifted, just a complete 180 from where you are right now. There is a kind of tower taking place inside the collective right now. A lot of you could be feeling like you're in dire straits. You don't have a lot of answers to things, but you're being called to have faith. You're being called to have hope. And remember that when you can't seem to find your way out of a really rough situation that you may be facing right now, you can always find a secret passage doorway by going inward, okay? And the simplest way that I can try and convey what I mean to you is it's very important that you connect with Source. How do you connect? Okay, well, you can pray, you can meditate, you can sit in silence and peace and just speak to that inner voice, okay, and listen. Ask for a way out. Ask for that secret passage doorway to be shown to you. Remember, you have free will, so you need to ask, okay? And I would go as far as saying, depending on really your situation and who you are and how much work you've been putting into navigating your path up until this point, you're most likely going to have something just appear to you. A kind of miracle just happens, right? It's like the divine throws you a lifeline and you're able to last second pull yourself out of a really tough spot, okay? These sorts of events happen in the lives of individuals like you because you need to be pushed to the edge to be woken up to the true nature of your destiny. Again, you're an elite bunch. You volunteered for this because you're the best at what you do. This is not your first time doing this. And when you start to understand this and you start to move in the way that I'm suggesting to all of you, something inside of you is going to feel familiar. And I just heard this message that I'm delivering right now, a lot of you actually need to hear right now, okay, because of some of the struggles that you're going through. Pay attention to the signs, the synchronicities. You need to go inwards. You need to connect with the divine. No matter how chaotic your surroundings might be right now, this is very important. This is tried and true. I've been through this. I'm not just telling all of you this, okay? But you have to have faith. This is the key here, right? Your faith allows you to... Okay, I'm getting a lot of ringing in my ear right now. This is very important what I'm about to say, okay? Your faith allows for the existence of God to be present in your life. Without it, you have nothing. You need to understand this. It's all about your faith. Your faith is what allows those miracles to unfold in your life. What do we have at the heart, please? Four of Wands, Aries energy at the heart. And there is that miracle. There's a message here I'm getting in regards to soul tribes, people that a lot of you are aligning with right now. It's like a lot of you are going through similar situations and are being ushered into certain spaces to quite possibly cross paths or meet up with each other. Okay, I'm also hearing something about a web. A lot of you being placed in certain spaces to create a kind of energetic web. As a means to calibrate the vibration of certain geographical spaces. Wow, that is very deep. I've definitely channeled through the downloads about the energetic web before. It's, I think maybe last year. But the second part, in regards to balancing certain geographical locations, I've never spoken about that before. So it could be that one of you are over here, another one of you is over here, maybe there's a group of you over here, and you may not all know each other, but you're in those spaces for very particular reasons. Your allocated positions in the universe, being called into certain spaces. And it almost seems like the distance that you have to travel between where you are in that current moment and that space that you're being guided to is like an impossible feat, right? It's almost like, how am I going to do this? And this is why you need to unlock that secret passageway by way of connecting with Source. You see, when I think about connecting with Source, the divine, whether through prayer or meditation or just sitting in silence and peace, I see it like I'm downloading my mission statement, like my orders for the day or for the week or whenever it is that I actually take the time to go into that space. And this is the same for all of you. So everything I'm telling you guys here is practices that you should be doing, okay? Or if you already have your own practice in place, then this message is to reignite that flame, okay? That you need to revisit that space. You know, living inside this maze, right? This matrix, this everyday grind that we're in, we forget that we need to have regular check-ins with Source, with the divine. This is why this message is coming through, to remind all of you right now, okay? And just imagine for a moment if you're all listening to this message, right? This collective reading here. And after you're done listening to this reading, at some point in the next, I don't know, maybe 12 to 24 hours, you actually do this. If all of you did this, it would send out an energetic shockwave, okay, across the planet. Now, that might sound far-fetched to all of you, but if you really understand how energy works, it's not far-fetched at all. It's actually very logical to think that this is actually what could happen. This is why the power of prayer is so incredibly important and powerful, especially when you have prayer groups, right? It just has this huge effect on the Earth's vibration. I mean, we hear about a lot of these prayer groups doing this to help heal the planet. It's a very real thing. But there are other ways of doing this. You know, for all of you, it has to do with you connecting with Source. So I challenge all of you to actually do this. Sit in that space for a few minutes. Just talk to Source. No matter what may be going on in your life, there's no reason why you can't take a few minutes out to do this. If you do this, you're going to find something you were looking for. Something will appear, whether it's a download or a physical item or an idea, something will happen. There'll be some sort of movement. So again, if you are feeling stuck, you don't know which way to turn, you don't know what to do, this message is for you. What do we have at the throw, please? Wow. Unbelievable. Four of Cups, Cancer energy at the throat. Let's just follow what I said, right? It's like an energy of apathy, energy of feeling unfulfilled, like you don't know how to turn around your circumstances or how to find the answer to something you're looking for. And see how, I mean, it gives the impression of an alcoholic, right? But overall, it's just somebody who's just overly consuming something, right? Here, drink this, drink this. It just gives this energy of being asleep inside of the maze, inside of the matrix, right? Making it worse and worse. Trying to numb that not knowing and shut out what you may be dealing with. Now, there's many different ways this can show up. It doesn't have to be just drinking. Some of you don't drink. There could be other things, right? You could be distracting yourself with something else, or it could represent a kind of behavioral pattern, or it could speak about a kind of distraction that you have around you. But however that's showing up for you, we're seeing here something that's kind of cyclical. This is a really tough energy, except for this Four of Wands at the heart. But there seems to be this repeating pattern here. Five of Cups in reverse, Four of Cups. Five of Cups in reverse, Four of Cups. It's like an energy of repeatedly consuming the disappointment, the hurt, the pain, digging yourself further and further into a hole when you don't need to. But you need to understand that this was meticulously crafted to do just this, keep you stuck, right? By this witchy kind of energy here, this character. And this could just represent your current set of circumstances that you're trying to overcome, whether it's people, places, things, behavioral patterns, whatever it is. It's threatening your movement forward. And for some reason, it's going in really hard right now, okay? But again, look at the astrology. It's all there. Let's switch decks. I have the Four of Wands again on the bottom of this deck. Okay? And then the Knight of Pentacles. So it's like the divine is trying to give you something. Nine of Swords to help you overcome this anxiety, right? What do we have at the third eye, please? High Priestess. Wow. Unbelievable. High Priestess is here representing your intuition, your connection with Source and the divine, right? This would be the card that represents you going inward to find that secret passage doorway outwardly, right? This can come in the form of an idea. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, after you connect with Source, right? You calibrate. You're like, oh my God, I have an idea. Or an opportunity comes to you. Or the divine says, go here, and you go there, and something happens. I don't know all your lives, okay? So this is going to show up 1,000,001 different ways. But it doesn't change the message. This is also an energy that represents you being essentially in between worlds. It's like you're stuck in between the past that keeps trying to pull you back and the future, which represents your destined path. And it's right there at the third eye, which is all connected to your vision, your imagination, and your intuition. We couldn't have asked for a better card at the third eye than the High Priestess, which is the card of your intuition, you connecting with Source. So we have Taurus energy, Gemini energy, Scorpio energy, Aries energy, Cancer, and Pisces on the table. What do we have at the crown, please? And there it is. Page of Pentacles. The divine gives you something, which starts you out on this new timeline and journey. And then we have the sun on the bottom of the deck. Success, the most high vibrational card in the tarot, right? This is like an energy of going from complete misery, right? It's like being stuck in a kind of darkness or depressive state that just keeps dragging you further down, right? This is an energy of being stuck in that hole. And then all of a sudden, something is given to you by the divine. Page of Pentacles right there at the crown, right? Which represents your connection with Source. It's like this fiery little garden gnome right here was tasked with giving you this pentacle, which represents the idea, the download, the way out. And there's this kind of humorous energy, obviously, there, right? Which, one thing that I've really learned about my own personal connection with God and Source, the divine, and I've heard a lot of other people say this before, is that God is really, really funny, okay? I mean, nobody's more funnier than him. I mean, he invented comedy when you think about it. He's the funniest being in existence. And this is another reason why I like to put a lot of humor in my readings, because we're talking about subject matters that can be very dark, okay? And it's very difficult to hear some of this stuff. So when we sort of lace a little bit of humor in between, it just allows it to absorb with a bit more ease, okay? And this is exactly what I'm getting from this energy here. And these situations that a lot of you are going through, though it may be very difficult to understand this right now, you will get to a point where you look back on this time and you kind of laugh. Because you'll be so incredibly grateful for where you are in that moment that you know that you had to go through this energy. And this also speaks about how far you would have come as well, right? You'll be looking back on this energy right here, which by all accounts is probably some of the worst energies we can get in tarot. 5 of Pentacles with 10 of Swords. This is as low gets. But you look, not to mention the 5 of Cups right there, but you look back on this energy and you're actually grateful for this. And again, it's difficult to do in the moment, but I promise you that once you're on that new timeline, you'll look back and you'll realize that, man, I had to go through that to learn this very valuable piece of wisdom to get me to where I am in this very moment. What do we have at the foundation, please? 3 of Cups, Cancer energy at the foundation of the reading. So I feel like this 3 of Cups is really talking about the energy that you're being called to withdraw from right now. It could really speak about individuals that you might have around you that are stifling you, untrustworthy kinds of energies, whether they're family dynamics, actual friends, romantic partners that have brought a lot of toxicity into your life. This is representing all of it, okay? And this right here is very cyclical in nature. It's just a repeating pattern over and over again. I just heard for some of you as well, this has to do with a romantic partner that a lot of you keep going back to, okay? You're being called now to finally put an end to it and move forward. You have this great opportunity, astrologically speaking, to do this as well. Now, this isn't to say that you can't do this in the future, but it's going to be much easier right now to put one foot in front of the other and be strong, okay? Because you're going to have the astrology backing you up, giving you a little bit more strength to push through and make it happen. What do we have the sacral, please? Knight of Pentacles, Deca Rabia at the sacral. This Knight of Pentacles is a very stubborn, stuck kind of energy, so really adds more impact to this message here, right? This is what a lot of you are breaking free of right now. You know, I think it was the Pisces reading as well. I think this card came out. And the message I put behind it was that it reminded me of somebody who's uploaded their consciousness into a kind of avatar, right? And is just submitted to the matrix. somebody who's stopped fighting for more, somebody who's stopped looking for the meaning and purpose in their life. Don't ever stop doing that, okay? I just heard that searching for the meaning and purpose in your life is the meaning and purpose of your life. The desire to want more, which speaks about an evolutionary mindset, speaks about evolution, it speaks about a universal mindset, right? The universe is constantly expanding. It's constantly wanting more, developing. As soon as we let go of that way of thinking, it's like we kind of give up on ourselves, give up on life. Now, it's not to say that we can't reach a space where we are very comfortable and happy with where we're at and satisfied with the abundance that we have around us, but I think it's just more speaking about the mind, the evolutionary mindset, right? And when you think about how we're all like brain cells in this universal mind, it's important that we're constantly sparking ideas and trying to decode what life is to begin with. This is so incredibly important. It's just a healthy way of being. It's a healthy way of existing. What do we have of the solar plexus, please? 7 of Swords, Aquarius energy, and Dramalius. A lot of you are really being shown right now the true nature of people's spirits, people's characters, right? There's a lot of truths that are being unearthed at this current time. Like I was saying, there's a lot of movement inside the collective right now. It's just an overall energy of towers everywhere. And this 7 of Swords really speaks about that because it's an energy of breaking free. There's a lot being revealed to you right now. And it's up to you to be open to what the divine is offering you, what the divine is presenting to you right now, because I feel a lot of you are being presented with a way forward, a way out, a way through. What do we have of the heart, please? 2 of Cups, Salos, forgetting. 2, 3, 4, 5 of Cups. Huge emphasis on emotional manipulation in this spread. The energy collective-wide, it's also similar. I mean, even the Pisces reading, it's just slightly different vantage points of a very similar energy, okay? But this 2 of Cups is just really speaking about this sense of feeling like you don't belong where you are anymore, that something's off, something's not right, that you can't continue in this particular relationship, this friend group, this family dynamic, this place you live, whatever it is, something's got to change. And the only way that the divine saw fit to bring this change into your life was to create some sort of major disruption here. Again, this tower energy, without even having the tower here, I feel it. It's all over this. But there's this overwhelming sense that something just does not want to let you go, does not want to let you be. It's like it's holding on to you for dear life. And then we have the 2 of Cups again, but now we have the positive polarity. This was the negative polarity. Luia, fruition, okay? So there's some sort of unification taking place here. 4 of Wands, 2 of Cups. And I'm hearing something again in regards to you quite possibly aligning with certain people, something like this. Some of you could even be meeting a kind of soulmate connection right now. And it's pretty undeniable here with this 4 of Wands and 2 of Cups. And you know, when I think about individuals like yourself that are hand-selected for these kinds of missions, I think of all of you as kinds of superheroes, right? I mean, we see the movies, right? But how would that look in real life? It would be all of you, right? So wouldn't it make sense that a lot of you are ushered to certain spaces and cross paths with each other to sort of unite, whether it's with a soulmate connection or with a group of people? To me, it does. There's also a sense inside the collective right now that depending on how much work you've been doing, where you are vibrationally, all these kinds of things, you could ask the divine something and in moments you can get an answer. Really go for it right now. In order for a miracle to unfold in your life, it usually just comes down to you giving it the opportunity to. And I have the Hermit on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so further confirmation around what I'm saying. Okay, so this is speaking about you going inward, right? It's like a energy that's representing what's a kind of soul searching, you going inward for clarity. using your inner compass to guide you. Everything that I've been saying in this reading. What do we have at the throat? Too many cards. Fool, 4 Pentacles. 10 of Wands. Faith and works is what I just heard. Ten of Pentacles, Manadel, the honorable God, inner and outer work. Helps one keep their job, protects against disasters. Unbelievable. So further confirmation around everything we're saying here, right? You go inward to get some sort of outer guidance, right? To figure out how to move outwardly. And right here it says helps one keep their job. Now that's just speaking generally about whatever it is you are all facing right now. Protects against disasters, right? So this is saying that when you go inward for this guidance, for this message or download, it allows you to avert a kind of disaster in your everyday waking life. What do we have in the third eye? Too many cards. What do we have in the third eye? Page of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy at the third eye. Ha'a'ia, God the refuge, governs dreams and reveals mysteries hidden from mortals, right? So this is really speaking about you getting this message, right? However that comes through to you, right? Underneath this high priestess, so we can't even make that up. I mean, that's so very clear. But then see how it's like there's this energy here, which I feel is this opposing energy. It's like they're looking at you. I mean, here you're being depicted as on a poster, so it just represents you having some sort of level up in your life, however that shows up to you. But it's like they can't affect you anymore. They can't access you anymore, is what I just heard. And what it says there about reveals mysteries hidden from mortals, this goes right back to what we said at the beginning of the reading about all of you being a part of a group of individuals that were chosen for something, right? These people weren't chosen because this is how they lived their life. If they were chosen for this, they've relinquished their mission a long, long time ago. You know, and I'm somebody who believes that everybody was given a chance at one point in time, right? But a lot of people sold out to the devil. They relinquished their mission. Some of these people have been stuck inside this cycle for many, many lifetimes, right? They just keep coming back, having to transmute more karma, and they've been off their path for an extended period of time. They've lost all sense of divinity. These individuals can represent fallen ones. It makes perfect sense. What do we have at the crown to close this out, please? Ah, perfect. Wheel of Fortune, Sag energy, Raphael, God has healed. Healing. Heals all disorders, protects travelers and medical workers, right? So whenever I get this card and I read what it says there about medical workers, that to me speaks about healers, people like yourselves that were sent here to run these particular cycles to transmute particular energies. You're kinds of healers, right? You're here to help heal the planet, help raise the vibration. And the Wheel of Fortune is all about life cycles. It's all about your destiny. And there's a tremendous amount of good fortune and abundance that's attached to all of this for you. You know, the Page of Pentacles represents an energy of seeking abundance, right? So it's like here you are accepting your mission from the divine, right? That little garden gnome has come down to give it to you. And now here you are having fulfilled the mission. Very deep, but very clear reading. And I feel that those who are meant to hear this are going to understand everything that we've outlined here, okay? And you all know who you are. But whatever the case, I certainly hope that you were able to find some messages amongst this reading to help you push through the stubborn energy that may be showing up in your life at this current moment. This is the message I have available to all of you. I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you would like a personal reading, you can find all of my contact details in the description below this video. And thank you for your donations. Take care.